So Jamie and I are headed to Indianapolis, and we are going to PRI again. It's been like 2 years since we went the first time, but we kind of had stuff going on last year where we were wanting to go. We ended up, I think, going goose hunting or something like that about this time of year.
I remember saying something to James blind.
Yeah.
Man, I could be PRI right now.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, we're heading up here. We got media passes again for the YouTube channel, so I'm pretty pumped about that. And we're going to the opening breakfast this morning, and the one and only Travis Pastrana is doing the ceremony and all that this morning, kicking off PRI. So we're gonna go see who all we can run into and see all the booths. We got a couple cars that we're both pretty excited about seeing in person, so that'll be pretty cool as well. But y'all stay tuned, and we'll see y'all there. See if we can pull this off again like last time. Successful once again. Alright. Sir. Bet. Oh yeah.
We're going to do something a little bit different here today. Kick things off by inducting our first class into the PRI Hall of Fame. So let's make a little history right now and give you the first two inductees. How about that? Our first inductee is the whole reason why we are all here, because he had a vision of what the performance racing industry could be. And none of this whole room, this whole week, does not happen without the vision of the great Steve Lewis.
It was an open door.
I showed up on your doorstep a few minutes ago and shared with you that you are the inductee number 1 into the PRI Hall of Fame, and I couldn't be more excited. It's a humbling privilege to be able to
So it's a humbling privilege to have someone knock at your door and say you're the number one, especially of this project, because it was our number one project. It was a very important thing for us to do, and thank you very much for your time.
Can you give us a little bit of a glimpse into what it was you were trying to accomplish in those early days?
We had a consumer show that we did in the Hoosier Dome that failed miserably. And a couple of exhibitors said, we don't need a consumer show, we need a trade show. So the industry, in essence, came to us. The beginning was not that easy, but the racing industry saw what we were trying to do, and half a dozen people got on board, and the momentum started. Our first show was in Louisville, and it worked.
When you think back to that, it was 38 years ago, give or take, and here you are 38 years later, PRI is still a very prevalent global brand. What's that mean to you? That this is
It means a lot. It means a lot. It means we did okay, and it means the SEMA taking the reins, and they've done a good job. So I think it's important that racing is a real industry, and it now has a trade show that where every year the buyers and the suppliers can get together in a professional atmosphere and get the work done. And I think that that's important. Every industry needs a trade show.
You were in racing before you were putting on shows. And can you talk to me a little bit about that? What got you into motorsports and evolution?
What got me into motorsports, I had wonderful parents, never went to racing. And one night, I was like 8 or 9 years old, my mom and dad said, Friday night is family night, we're going to go to Orangeville Stadium and watch a midget race. Now, they're not racers. And we had Orange Show, Speedway, and they had midget races there on Friday nights. So my parents take my brother and I to a midget race. And holy smokes, these little midgets buzzing around. And that was it. I mean, I was hooked. And I learned about racing and had a good time with it. And then years later, Edmonds called me up. This is 1979. He said, Steve, you've always wanted to be in auto racing. Come on down, I got a car for you. And so he had a reason. He wanted me to have a car to campaign on the USAC circuit. And we went racing, and the first year we ended up 9th in points. And so every time we just registered the car as 9, and we just kept it that.
Just so everybody can see, it's absolutely spectacular. So we'll have that for you, and then we have these really cool trophies, which of course has to be a racing helmet, and don't worry, we'll ship it to you.
Business. And what made you think about performance racing?
It would be in the notice in our neighborhood,
It's the start.
1 or 2 cattle jobs, they call them, are cruising the neighborhood sometimes. And in our neighborhood, there's a club called the Gun Owners Club.
Yeah.
All we knew is there's these 2 fellas that have a hopped up Model C that we see driving around
See the name.
in 1942. Now you can join that club if you want, or you can just hang out with those guys when they have their club meetings or when they go on trips to the desert, and you learn about engines and fixing, hopping up cars and so forth. And just happened to be lucky that 2 of the fellows that belong to the Bungoers Club are right in our neighborhood, and we could go over there and watch them work on their cow jobs.
Yeah. So how did you move from being in hot rods to deciding to build a camshaft? I mean, you must have decided to build your first
And it didn't
camshaft.
take long to find out that there's a famous man named Ed Winfield, born in 1901. He showed me his cam grinding machine. I couldn't believe it. I was fascinated. So after the World War II, and I was apprentice in a machine shop at that time, and after I saw what the machine looked like, I said, by God, I think I could make one of those machines. So I had quite a bit of trouble at first, but I finally caught on.
You know, and today the automotive aftermarket is $337 billion a year
Really?
to the U.S. economy. Did you ever realize back then that this could be a real industry and a real business? I mean, you are a pioneer of the very beginning of what all of us today make our living from.
Yeah.
You were at the very start of that.
Yeah.
Did you ever
That was
imagine?
it was going on before me, but there was no money in it yet, or it was too small. But it's growing little by little every day.
Well, you were there. You were there. You were one of the pioneers.
Yeah.
And we're all grateful for that. I mean, we are here today because of that. You really are the camp-father, the godfather of camshafts and racing.
Yeah, and I was born just at the right time.
Yeah.
I think if I was born earlier, I wouldn't have done as well, and later, but I wouldn't have done well. Anyway,
You've worked hard all your life. You've been a pioneer in our industry. You've been an innovator. You've been you took chances. You took a lot of chances.
yeah,
But you were successful in those chances.
yeah. We're lucky too. We had everything just about the right time.
And you know the whole industry loves you.
Yeah, we done.
And thinks highly of you.
Well, thank you.
Well, congratulations on being in the inaugural PRI Hall of Fame.
Oh, thank you very much.
People to put into our Hall of Fame in his first year. Unfortunately, Iski couldn't be here with us today. We do have Nolan Jamar here to come up and accept for Iski. Some of the best, biggest names in motorsports and some dear friends. And you know, each and every year we're like, who should we get? And the last couple of years we've had some really great names, right? Tony Stewart, Roger Penske, Tony Kahn last year. I mean, it starts to get a little tricky as to, gosh, how do we elevate the show again and bring in another big name? Well, this guy has been a dear friend for years, and it's somebody we've wanted to get here for the show for quite a while, and it finally worked out with his schedule. He is the true definition of the term 70. So fasten your seatbelts. Here's Travis Pastrana. Great to see you. Of course you make an entrance like that. Take a seat. No surprise that you would do that.
It's not a global death or a backflip, but you know, it's not a tradition.
It worked out okay. How you doing?
Honestly, pretty doggone good, Ralph. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Been buzzing around the world lately, but happy to be here in Indy with all of our great friends and ready to go.
But it was the first round of Supercross. Went out there and I did a Superman seat grab on the parade lap right here in Indianapolis, and I had a cast on, so I missed my rear fender, and I belly flopped, launched the bike straight at a camera guy off the side, and as I'm laying on the ground, Roger Cost was right there. Jeff Stanton, who had been trying to get me to ride Honda, was right there, and he was laughing. And pretty hard. I was like, well, made a good decision on this one. And bars were bent, everything was messed up. and was able to go out and I got my first hole shot of the year because I was too embarrassed to not get a good start from that one. So that kind of helped out. But you know, at the end of the day, it's pretty cool to be able to race supercross and do what you love to do.
Yeah. So the next thing you know, you're the golden child of freestyle motocross. And there you are, launching your dirt bike into San Francisco Bay. How did that journey begin?
Well, to be perfectly honest, we had 3 mortgages on the house. You know, like most families in motocross, the parents, your families, your uncles, your cousins, everyone was trying to help us do what we needed to do. And my mom was not a huge fan of the X Games, which was just starting. And my dad said, "What does last place pay?" And last place paid $800. And he's like, "Well, that will cover half our gas money. So we're going to go out, we're going to say what this is to go out to Mammoth Mountain." And I knocked myself out of Mammoth, broke the foot peg off the motorcycle, and crashed. So that was the excuse to go out to X Games, was to go racing at Steve Lamson, everyone racing up there. So we were driving to X Games, and motorhome broke down. My dad hooked the generator up, the alternator went out, and we hooked the generator to the battery. We made it pretty far before the motor blew up. My dad hitchhiked, got the motorcycle there, we got everything to the X Games. We missed practice, missed everything. And we got there, and everyone was already talking. We missed everything. But they were like, "Hey, I bet you could make it in today." So I won that X Games in the first round, launched the motorcycle in San Francisco Bay, and they said, "Hey, we're going to take your X Games gold medal and all the money." I said, "Oh, crap. we're stuck out here." And the awesome people at Fox told them, said, "You know what? We'll cover it. We're going to pull that bike off of San Francisco Bay, which is like 80 feet down, get your technical shot," and they helped us get on racing.
That's fantastic, great story. So freestyle seemed to be the domain of the black hat wearing guy. The guys like Kerry Hart, Brian Deegan, Mike Metzger. Did the fact that you were more of an all-American kid kind of help you in the freestyle world because you were different than the other guys?
So to be perfectly honest, I didn't realize I was part of a character build. I didn't realize that I was part of Brian Deegan's master plan to make a living on motorcycles. So love or hate him, Brian Deegan loved riding motorcycles. I was this kid, straight A student, all I wanted to do was ride dirt bikes. And he found that this goody two-shoes, straight A student, 15 years old, was winning. So he went the opposite direction. And he said, "Metal militia, world domination." He's like, "We're gonna go out and I'm gonna start a good versus evil rivalry. Because I want to be able to ride a dirt bike for a living." He didn't quite make it in racing. He was great, he was a very good rider. But it's hard to make a living doing what you love to do. Hard to make a living in a hobby. So he put this good versus evil, bad boy versus goody two shoes, whatever you want to call it. And unknowingly, he started this rivalry that built freestyle. I mean, you look back in the day, it was Mad Mike Jones, Cowboy Kenny Bartram, Flying Hawaiian, Clifford Adam Conte. And it was kind of a sideshow, but it was people that loved to ride motorcycles. They loved what they did. And we found a platform where we could go have fun for a living and do video parts and just figured out a way to stay in sport. And I think Brian Deegan, almost every day now, unknowingly to me, that rivalry that he built started freestyle motorcycles. That rivalry that he built allowed me to build a name that helped me to. So I signed my Subaru contract with Roger DaCosta. Roger didn't love me. I was 15 years old. I was in a wheelchair from separating my spine basically from my pelvis, shattering my pelvis, broken back. And Suzuki was the one company that said, "You know what? We believe in you. We believe you're going to make it." And if it wasn't for Brian Deegan, if it wasn't for freestyle, if it wasn't for all the video parts, they probably wouldn't have done that.
Well, the next thing I know, I'm glued to my TV, watching my buddy Travis get ready to roll down a ramp and pull a double backflip, which I think we have right here. 1, 2, lands it perfectly. Incredible. How does that concept even become a reality?
It's funny because this trick right here, so I was just at that time kind of switching to rallycross. Colin Craig, one of my all-time heroes, was sitting in the stands. And I'm second to Colin Craig by a tenth of a second going to the final stage. And we had this, I'm sitting third, so I already got a medal at X Games. And I rock, paper, scissors on whether we're gonna do this or not. And then,
As all decisions like that are
of
done.
course, my mom, I've never been so upset with a reporter in my life. They went to my mom and said, your son might die today. How do you let him do this? And she just broke down.
I remember that.
Live television. And I'm like, why, how could you ask the parent that? Like, obviously we're here, we've trained, we know the risk, we know the consequence, like, it's gonna work. And I saw Colin Craig in the stands and I'm like, you know what? I would rather get hurt trying this than not know if it could work. And I feel like that's, risk to reward is always changing, no matter what you're doing. But for me, that event right there at 16 years, or at, probably 22, switching up to 4 wheels, switching up with 80 speed cage, having a chance to run with Colin McRae the following day, freestyle motocross, my best event the next day as well. And I said, you know what? It's worth it for me because racing has a finish line. There's a winner, there's a loser, but freestyle is expression, it's style. So first, second, third, last, who cares? At the end of the day, I want to put on a show and I want to push myself to do what I know that I've worked for that trick 3 years.
3 years.
Every single day, thinking of becoming possible. Working from BMX, from trampoline to BMX to mountain bike, foam pits, day in, day out. My friends, my family took off work. Someone was always there to help me get out of the foam pit. 110 degrees in Maryland, 100% humidity the week before the X Games. And almost every one of my friends, every one of my relatives were there to make sure that I was as safe as possible to help me every single day. I said, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be right now.
You gotta go.
And rock, paper, scissors said it was so, and we ended up pulling it off.
So, I'm filming from our YouTube channel. What is your by far favorite stunt you've ever done? There's a lot of them. I know, that's a hard question to ask, but
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as far as the trick goes, backflip, kiss the death, they call it. You pull like you're doing a triple, like as hard as you can, and then jump off the bike and throw it over your.
Yeah.
Now my shoulder kind of dislocates when it goes up, but yeah, it's like because you look down on that, and if you get good extension, like you're actually flying over the ground with a 220-pound bike over your head. I enjoy that.
all right. Got done with the opening breakfast, and we're about to walk into the show, but got to meet Travis. That was pretty sick. And one of the guys in line was getting autographs and had some extra pictures to get autographed and gave us both one to get an autograph on. So that was pretty sick. So got something to at least put on the wall at home in the garage. So anyways, we're going to get ready to walk into the show and see what's going on. So here we go. What's going on, guys? We're into Mike Finnegan here, dude. One of the best YouTube and car shows ever, Roadkill. What is your favorite episode that you and you the guys filmed?
Of Roadkill?
Yes.
I
I know it's a hard thing to do,
That
but
is hard. Probably
you've got-
Alaska when we actually made it. That was pretty.
Alaska when you actually made it.
That was
I like
pretty
that.
cool. Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
man. Well, I appreciate your time. Have a good one. All
Yeah,
right.
man. Thank you.
on, brother? Doing all right? Oh, yes, sir. Just hanging out. So I'm filming for my YouTube channel. Right on. What is your favorite win on the Street Outlaws show?
You talking NPK or the show itself?
Just show itself. Like, what do you think? Like, what your favorite win is, or most memorable win?
When I got to beat Big Chief. I only beat him once. I raced him a bunch, but I only beat him once.
There you go.
He's a tough cookie.
All right. Me and you got the same last name, so I was like, that's pretty cool. So, yeah.
Cool, man.
But, all right, man. You mind if I get it?
Yeah,
I'm going to bring my gloves so I can grab all
Yeah, we were rolling through the stage lane from the back Mark's car.
Just fins laid over in all of this.
So, video for YouTube channel, get Backwoods Outdoors, hunting and fishing, right? I've heard you guys are known for doing a little fishing yourselves. I wanted to know what your favorite fishing trip was with the farm trip.
Favorite fishing trip was with the farm trip. Mine is always motorcycles. Okay, if we're talking our fishing, right, it's always going to be motorcycles. You want to pick on a guy that knows he's fast, right?
Yeah.
Right? So.
Or thinks he's fast.
Thinks he's fast. Thinks he's fast.
Thinks he knows he's
right?
fast.
You guys want to catch a fish that's hard to catch, right? An elusive fish that's rare, that you can brag about. We want the same thing.
That's right.
Fair enough.
It's supercars for me.
Supercars.
I like the humble rich guys.
I like that. Especially in an old beat-up square body.
Because we've all been blown off the road by a supercar or a Corvette or something like that.
Yep.
And there's nothing we can do about it. But wait, there is something that Farm Truck and Asian can do about it.
I love it. I love it. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. This is your channel. Tag us in it. Absolutely. Love you guys.
That thing is insane, dude.
That's a Volkswagen, the engine's in the back.
Dude, this thing is insane. You got Clecos holding this whole thing together. Look at this. That is so sick. That's wild, dude. Local boys in the house. BTR Racing right up the road. Represent the local boys.
What's the area code?
That's a 502, baby. All right, guys. Well, that was PRI. Had a blast. Got to get a bunch of free crap and got to meet some pretty cool people. Met Travis Pastrana, which was pretty awesome. Jeff Lutz, Farm Truck Agent, Mike Finnegan off of Roadkill, which was pretty awesome. That's like one of our favorite shows to watch. But anyways, it's a good time. And we were gonna pick some cars. It was kind of like our favorite three, but I kind of forgot a lot of them now. But I think our by far probably favorite was that Land Rover.
Yeah, that one had about the most work done to it.
Yeah, and it had Clecos all over it, and still
well,
like
it's
it
still
was a
under
working.
construction. Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty stinking cool. But anyways, we appreciate you guys watching. Y'all stay tuned for some videos coming up. We'll see y'all in the next one.